With the news, my name is Alan Mwale. The headlines. Government has announced that Kalengwa mine in Mofumbwe district is on the path to revival after being non-operational for over 40 years. The Committee on Transport, Works and Supply has urged the strengthening of legal provisions under the Zambia Railways Act to address the persistent vandalism of railway tracks. The leadership movement has announced that it will not participate in the opposition alliance formed to change the ruling United Party for National Development (UPND) in the upcoming Lumezi by-election. In sports, Zambia's national football team coach Wedson Nyirenda has announced a 35-member all-local provisional squad ahead of the 2025 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup. We have the news in detail shortly.
The news, 88.5 Sun FM.
The news in detail. Government has confirmed that Kalengwa mine, located in Mofumbwe district, is on the path to revival after being non-operational for over 4 decades. Minister of Mines and Mineral Development, Paul Kabuswe, announced the development during a tour of the site accompanied by Solwezi Central Member of Parliament and Government Chief Whip Stanford Mulusa, alongside various stakeholders. Mr. Kabuswe stated that the revival of Kalengwa mine marks a significant milestone for the people of Northwestern Province and the country at large. He attributed the progress to the decisive leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, whose directive facilitated the resolution of long-standing legal disputes that had hindered the development at the site. The minister disclosed that government has released over $20 million in pursuit of reviving the mine, with expectations of creating more than 300 jobs. He further revealed that a processing plant is scheduled for delivery and installation by the end of May 2025. He noted that the production is projected to commence by July 2025 with an initial output target of 5,000 tons of copper. Emphasizing government's commitment, Mr. Kabuswe assured that mining operations across the country will be conducted transparently and in a manner that prioritizes the well-being of local communities.
But of course, I'm also excited with the projection of growth in terms of ramping up productivity towards our 3 million tons, but also the local content issues that we've had here. I've seen numbers that are quite impressive, but I think we can do more. So we are encouraging, FQM to really get more to, the local people and be able to incorporate them in the local community. It starts on paper. Ask them about this drawing. Yes, it started as a project on paper being drawn. Everything starts somewhere. You can't just say this. In fact, it started with an idea. Somebody pronounced, I don't know whether it's Mr. Tristan, may he so rest in peace, whoever in First Quantum, sort of an idea of an S3 expansion.
The Committee on Transport, Works and Supply has urged the strengthening of legal provisions under the Zambia Railways Act to address the persistent vandalism of railway tracks. Speaking during a tour of Zambia Railways infrastructure in Ndola, Committee Vice Chairperson Jimmy Chibuye highlighted vandalism as a major challenge faced by the company. The parliamentarians observed that scrap metal dealers have infiltrated Zambia Railways facilities, stripping wagons and stealing timber and tarpaulins. Mr. Chibuye stated that the committee will not allow the destructive practice to persist. He affirmed that they will explore ways to reinforce the legal framework under the Zambia Railways Act, ensuring that anyone caught tampering with railway property faces the full force of the law, including possible imprisonment. He further emphasized that the railway company remains viable and can be revitalized to operate at 90% or even full capacity.
But Zambia is on its own with their mother parent, IDC. I don't think they are going to do this. And it's very encouraging. Yesterday we heard from the MD where he hinted that in the coming near future, they will not be asking money from government through IDC, but IDC will be asking for money from Zambia Railways. So we want to encourage Zambia Railways to keep on fighting. Yes, we know they have obsolete equipment. Some of the locomotives are as old as I don't know. As you can see, some of them were procured in 1964, before some of us were even born. So we want to help Zambia Railways, especially that the roads in Zambia have been permeated from time to time with the heavy volumes. So if Zambia Railways can come on board as the alternative with the act, which actually gives them 30% of the load off the roads, I think Zambia Railways is very viable and it can contribute sufficiently to the economy.
Meanwhile, Zambia Railways Managing Director Cuthbert Malindi expressed deep concern over the vandalism and encroachment on railway infrastructure. Mr. Malindi stressed the need to categorize vandalism and encroachment as non-bailable offenses, advocating for long prison sentences as deterrents. He also disclosed that Zambia Railways is currently conducting a comprehensive exercise to assess the status of its land, determining whether it is legally titled and identifying unauthorized occupants.
It does border on our social fabric as a people. By the way, including the media, because if the media, sensitize, one, secondly, report on some of these cases more frequently, whether it's on TV, radio, and then people start saying that, you can't do this. Look at what happened when motor vehicle theft was made non-bailable. There was a significant reduction in theft of motor vehicles. So we need to get to that kind of level where it's a serious deterrent. If you are caught stealing, one, non-bailable, secondly, it should be a long sentence. So that's what we're appealing, but of course, it's up to the lawmakers and the executive to make that decision. But from Zambia Railways' standpoint, with zero tolerance towards theft and vandalism.
The leadership movement has announced that it will not participate in the opposition alliance formed to challenge the ruling United Party for National Development, UPND, in the upcoming Lumezi by-election. Party leader Dr. Richard Silumbe stated that his party will field its own candidate in the election scheduled for June 26, 2025. Dr. Silumbe dismissed the opposition coalition, accusing its members of lacking a clear and genuine plan to improve the lives of Zambians. He further emphasized that the leadership movement would only consider aligning with other opposition parties that demonstrate a sincere commitment to the welfare of the Zambian people.
And the leadership movement is going to participate in all the by-elections because ours is to preach to the Zambian people, to give them an alternative. All the opposition have joined hands. So it was just one political party that was talking about that. Maybe 2 or 3 political parties will come together and say, oh, we have joined hands and we are floating one candidate. It's not everyone.
And in sports, Zambia's national football team coach, Wedson Nyirenda, has unveiled a 35-member all-local provisional squad ahead of the 2025 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup. The regional tournament is scheduled to take place from June 4th to the 15th in Bloemfontein, South Africa. This year's COSAFA Cup also serves as a crucial build-up to the African Nations Championship CHAN, set for August, as well as the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers in September. Drawn in Group D, Zambia will face Comoros and Botswana in the opening stage. Coach Nyirenda is expected to trim the squad as the tournament approaches, finalizing the list of players who will represent the nation. Among those called up are seasoned goalkeepers Lawrence Mulenga, Mangani Banda, and Charles Kalumba, who will compete for a starting position alongside Victor Chabu. The defensive lineup includes Happy Nsiku, Kilian Kanguluma, and Dominic Chanda, among others, all expected to bring stability and resilience to the Zambia's backline. In midfield, notable names such as Kelvin Kapumbu and Harrison Chisala will provide depth and creativity, while rising talents like Golden Mashata and Elliot Kampokesa also made the list. Leading the front line are strikers Kelvin Mwanza and Andrew Piri, alongside Evans Kayombo Jr. and Joseph Piri, bringing firepower and precision to Zambia's attacking campaign. This year's COSAFA Cup will be hosted in Bloemfontein for the first time, with matches set to take place at the iconic Free State Stadium and Dr. Petrus Malomela